Let's start. Let's do our thing. Might as well. It's Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, you have to make sure to get a strong dose of guacamole today. My middle son loves guacamole. We call him Mr. Guacamole. Every meal could be guacamole. Yeah, it's solid. It's solid. Come to a child's pose. Child's pose. Yeah, let your seat get heavy back into your heels. Energetically reach your arms forward. Let the front of the forehead rest on the mat. Good, and just let your body, but more importantly, your mind just like drop. Take the thoughts out and just really start to feel and absorb what your body needs today. Every day you come to your mat, it's a little different. Good. Anchor through your hands, rub the palms nice and wide. Create a little lift of your forearms up off the ground so your arms are starting to activate like they're going to a down dog. Good, let's press up onto all fours into a tabletop position. When you come to tabletop, it's good to scoot the hands a little bit more, a little closer together and a little more under the shoulders. I like curling the toes into the mat. It just feels nice. Inhale, sink the spine down and look forward, real basic here. Exhale, hollow out your abdominal wall, round the spine deeply, look in. Try it again, inhale, sinking the spine down and looking forward. Exhale, round the spine deeply and look in. Just make a connection with your body, your breath, your movement. So again, inhale, sinking down and looking forward. Exhale, round the spine deeply and look in. Good, come to a flat back tabletop position and just extend your right leg straight back, curl the right toes into the mat. Keep the right toes curled into the mat. Good, you're gonna turn your back foot on an angle like this, turn your left knee open and stack open just into a very basic supported side plank early on. Float the right leg up if you feel like you can do that. And then bend behind your right knee and grab your right ankle with your right hand and just give a little kick. So just to stretch out the front quadricep of the right leg. Good morning. Yeah, the psoas muscle or walking muscle, and get a little back bend as you look over your right shoulder, look towards the sky and just breathe. Good, extend the right leg and the right arm towards the sky. Look to the floor, right hand comes down. Let's square it off. So you just have to kind of tip your left leg around. And though the right leg's gonna now be floated in the air in a half tabletop position. Good, hug the right knee in towards the navel and round the spine. So you're in like this little half tabletop position. And then extend your right leg up and back to a three-legged tabletop. So try that again. Inhale, sinking and rounding in. So just scooping out your belly and drawing your right knee in. And then extending and finding some space as you flex your right foot. One more time, hug the right knee in, hold for a moment, look forward and land your right foot all the way forward and through. So once you get your right foot forward and through, come to your fingertips and scoot your back left knee kind of back a little bit. So it's a little bit more on an angle. Breathe your chest and your heart open right here. Create a little bit of an up dog. Grip your right hip in and just feel. Energetically reach your arms towards the sky. Yes. And if this doesn't feel good in your body this morning, you can pull back a little bit. You can come out of your right kind of thigh and be more up and down. But for me personally, it feels nice to be a little heavier in that front thigh. Reach your arms straight up and down towards the sky. Look up with your eyes without dropping your neck back. And just breathe for a moment. Bring the hands down to frame out your front foot and just slide back to a tabletop position. Recurl the toes, good. Float the left leg back, but don't lift it up. Just curl the left toes into the mat. So just kind of doing a little half plank here. And then pivot the left toes like it's a warrior two here, warrior 2 foot, and pivot the right leg out. I know it takes a little finagling. And then stack the left arm up. You're just going into a supported side plank, and then float the left leg up about hip height, stack yourself up. And then if you can bend your left leg, grab your ankle, kick behind you. This to me feels great. It's a little back bend, a little psoas release, kick behind you. Breathe your left shoulder blade open. Good, release the leg, release the arm. Fix your eyes towards the floor, then pivot your hips towards the ground. Left hand comes down. Left knee, left leg extends back, the right knee is still on the ground. Good. So you're just floating your left leg up in a little tabletop, and then hug your left knee in as you scoop out your belly and round. Try it again, extend the left leg straight back, flex the foot, float it from the ground, and then hug the left knee and scoop out the belly, round the spine. Extend the left leg back, creating some joint mobility. Hug the left knee in, scoop out the belly, look forward, land your left foot forward and through. Come to your fingertips, scoot the right leg back a little so it's on an angle. Pause for a second, create a little up dog and feel that your left hip grips in. Yes. And then float your arms up towards the sky. Find what works here, maybe a little heavier in your front hip, or you can always pull back if it's too much. Allow yourself to just kind of be. Great, hands come down to frame that front foot. Curl the back right knee up off the ground, yes, and then step to a down dog now. So your first downward facing dog, come to a downward facing dog, and find the position that works for you. Sometimes it takes a little bit of kind of moving around the mat. Feet are about hips width distance. Hands are now about the width of the mat. Index fingers are forward. Let your head just kind of hang nice and heavy, nice and soft. Breathe your hips way up off your shoulders this morning and soften behind your knees as much as you may need. Let your head just be free. So I know for me personally, some days I come to my mat and I need to bend my knees in down dog. Good, roll forward to plank. Check in with the alignment. Sometimes the first dog to plank requires a little bit moving of the hands forward so you can kind of set it up. The goal this morning is to take the round out of the spine. So how do we do that? My best suggestion is to lead a little with the chest, fix your eyes forward towards the front skinny edge of the mat and set yourself up. So you're hugging into the center line of the body, activating the sides of your arms, the sides of the thighs, the ankles hugging in and feeling the ground as it supports you here. So plank position, it's a really strong fundamental pose, creating a lot of just basic energy. Hold, inhale your breath. Exhale, maintain stability. Inhale, hold here, bring more weight forward onto your tippy toes, so the crown of the head extends forward. Exhale, arms straight, legs straight, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good, you found your sweet spot. Roll forward, plank, try it again, all the way forward to plank position, stack yourself up. Yep, drop your knees. They're a little behind you, keep the toes curled. Lower halfway to a supported push-up. Even if you're a master yogi, it's nice to know this option. Re-straighten your arms to a supported plank. Let's try it again. Bend your elbows, supported push-up. Less is more. Re-straighten your arms, supported plank. One more, lower halfway, supported push-up. Re-straighten your arms, supported plank. Lift the knees up off the ground, plank position. Fix your eyes, hips up and back dog. So that's always a good alternative. If you're not feeling it today, roll forward plank. Some days we come in, we're like dragging our asses, yes. Halfway to a push-up that works for you. So go with the supported one, fix your eyes on one spot. This time, pull your heart and your chest through for an up dog, or maybe you opt for a baby cobra. Drag the hands back a little bit for baby cobra so they're closer towards like where the belly button, the ribs meet. Yes, hips up and back, downward facing. Nice, Farah. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Look where you want to go. Step to the top of the mat. Yeah, even for just the first one, it's good to do that. Long spine when you arrive, weight is forward. Hands can also press into your shins. Exhale, fold over yourself. Root to rise, come all the way up. Up. Drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. Let's see if I can pull this up. Let's go from the top. Arms slide straight up towards the sky, go big. Dive over bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Plant your palms, step to plank, step to plank. Yeah, lower halfway to a push-up, chaturanga, or drop your knees down if you need support. Up dog or baby cobra. Press through your hands and the tops of your feet. Hips up and back, downward facing. So take your time in here this morning. Deep breath in, full breath out. It doesn't like me. Yeah, arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or maybe float to the top of the mat. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Good, root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at heart. Drop your arms. So from the top of the mat, here we go. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. I've got Zoom going right behind you. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Just go over a little to the right. I got Zoom behind you going on. Good, long spine, set it up, step or float through a vinyasa. Upward facing pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. You got it. Be in a down dog, just feel, hold, and breathe. Look where you want to go. Arms stay nice and straight. Step or float to the top of the mat. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Drag your hands to prayer at the top. Drop your arms. So just going like this. Here, whatever you want. Arms sweep straight up towards the sky. Go big. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips to prepare. Step or float through vinyasa. So your vinyasa can just be a step back to a down dog and holding and breathing. You're welcome to skip or add push-ups or back bends. Down dog is where we meet. Good. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Just going like this a few times. Long spine, weight is forward. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come all the way up. Go big. Hands to prayer at the top. Drop your arms. Here we go. One more together. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Look up. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Come to the fingertips, set it up, step, or if you're choosing to float, you always land in a push-up, a low push-up. Up dog is smooth, press to the hands and the feet. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank position, pause. Yes, you're leading with your chest in your plank and you're not collapsing and you're recognizing if you need to drop your knees to create support, that's totally fine. Float your right foot an inch from the ground in plank. Right foot lifts an inch, the leg stays straight. Hug your right knee in towards your navel. In plank position, your right knee draws towards your navel. Point your toes. So you're in plank and your right knee is drawing towards your navel. Look forward with your eyes. Land your right foot all the way forward and through. You're in a low lunge. Pause and low lunge, your back heel is lifted up off the ground. Arms sweep back so they hover alongside the body. So what I recommend here is flip the palms. Yes, and then the palms face down. There you go. So there's a squeezing of your shoulder blades. Sweep your arms straight out and up or straight up depending on your shoulder health. You can always soften behind your left knee. That's a good modification. And then it sets you up so your hip points move forward and your eyes steer towards the sky. Energetically root through your fingertips towards the ceiling. Squeeze your outer hips in. Draw the belly in. There's a lift of your ribs. Let's have some fun today, or at least I think it's fun because I'm a yoga dork, but you know, you can have your own opinions of it. Arms are gonna slide straight forward like you're handing someone a tray of something. Wrap your left arm underneath your right arm. If this is unavailable, the eagle arms, you can always give yourself a bear hug today. Do your best work to step up and wrap your left thigh. It may take 2 steps, 3 steps, 20 steps. You may be able to float it. Wrap into an eagle. Your left thigh wraps over your right thigh like you're sitting under a table. Think chair pose, weight is heavy in your standing right heel. Steer your hips forward. Yes, stack yourself. Think of an imaginary line down the center line of your body. You're trying to line your fingertips, your elbows, and your knees and your toes all in one line. Do your best work. Keep the legs down, unravel your arms for a moment, straight up like you're in chair. Press to stand, hugging your left knee towards your navel. Draw the left thigh back. So now your left ankle is like it's like you're butt kicking yourself. Keep reaching up with your right arm. Grab the outside of your left ankle with your left hand. Kick a little bit into your hand as you drive your right foot, your right arm a little bit forward. Think kind of like a half little standing bow. It doesn't have to be so aggressive. Your left shoulder sliding back behind you, your left knee going behind you. As you reach your right arm forward, you kick more into your left hand, you create a back bend. Keep the leg just at this angle and now just reach both arms forward like you're holding a block. Yes, giant step back, warrior one, make it a kind of a pretty transition. And if it didn't work out, you just set it up. Warrior one, first warrior, back foot's turned on a strong angle, gripping your right hip in and moving your left ribs forward as your eyes work its way up towards the sky. Hands to frame your front foot, plank position, chaturanga push up if you got it in, upward facing, cobra, skip it, I don't care. Hips up and back, downward facing dog, deep breath in, full breath out, roll forward plank. You seem super excited. Yes, lots of good energy in here. Float the left foot an inch from the ground, just to get the pelvis aligned. Hug your left knee straight in and up, scoop out your belly. Arms are straight up and down. This is just like working isometric core. Look forward with your eyes and land your left foot forward and through. Come to your fingertips, activate your back leg, squeeze your left hip in, and then reach your arms back, reminding you that your palms face down. So yes, when the palms face down, the eyes of the shoulders can point in the right direction, and you create a natural back bend here. Steer the hips, kind of squeeze them together, anchor through the legs, and then rise on your exhale breath, crescent lunge. Make some adjustments that work for you, reminding you that your hip points need to move forward. You're sitting heavy in the standing left thigh, not the knee, and your back leg is charged up. Energetically reach your arms straight up towards the sky. Maintaining a nice, calm, effective breath is what we're going for here. Arms now reach straight forward like you're handing a tray, not the whole body. Wrap the right arm underneath the left. Good. And then see if you can step up and make a nice wrap with your right thigh over your left thigh. If your foot doesn't get around your calf, don't worry about it. Hook the thighs the best that you can. Steer your hips back, squeeze the arms, and squeeze the legs nice and tight. Stay with it. Heavy in that standing left heel. Steer the knees a little to the right, upper body a little to the left, and see if you can create that straight line of energy. Keep the legs nice and tight. Unravel just your arms like you're in chair. It's a slow transition. You're gonna press to stand. The right foot's not gonna touch. It's gonna drop towards the sky. I totally just use the side wall to hold myself up here. Yes, keep the left arm moving up. The right leg kind of sweeps back. Your right hand grabs the outside, go outside of ankle so you can just get the psoas release. Right leg slides straight back behind you as your right shoulder moves with it. And then just start a slow tip forward. It doesn't have to be so aggressive, a softening of your left knee. Think little dancer pose. We'll call it tiny dancer. This is tiny dancer pose. Just breathing your chest and your collarbone open, firing up that thigh. Take another big breath in. Good, keep the leg in space and just reach your arms forward, kind of like a little funky warrior three. Giant step back, warrior one. Do your best work. Steer your right ribs forward, anchor through your outer left foot and left hip, grip it underneath you. Warrior one, grounding. Hands to the floor, move through a vinyasa or simply just go to a down dog. Up dog should feel good. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. Do me a favor, just slide your right foot forward, turn your back foot on an angle, rise warrior one from the top of the mat. Just see how that feels from the back of the mat to the top of the mat. Hands come down, plank position, add the push-up, up dog pulls you through, hips up and back, downward facing. On your breath, left foot lands, back foot turns, rise, warrior one. Hands to the floor, through a vinyasa, upward facing, point, hips up and back, down dog, pause here, hold and breathe. Feel your outer triceps wrap in. Feel your outer hands press into the mat. Breathe your hips way up off your shoulders. Look where you want to go. Step or float your feet to the top of the mat. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold. Super excited for your first chair pose. Stick your butt back. Yeah. And reach your arms straight up towards the sky. So weight should be in your heels and chair. Stick your butt way back and get in there. Shoot up to stand up, drag your hands to prayer, drop your arms. You ready? From the top of the mat, it's like a dance routine. Arms slide straight up, sit deep into chair. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Come to the fingertips and set it up right here. Step to plank, or you can float through a push-up, chaturanga, it's up to you. Up dog pulls you through your body, hips up and back, down dog. On your breath, the right foot lands, the back foot turns, warrior one. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Plank through a push-up if you're adding push-ups. Nice, up dog, hips up and back, down dog. The left foot lands on your breath, warrior one. Take your time, everyone moves a little different. Some of us are fast, some of us are slow. No judgment. Hands to the floor when you're ready. We always have the opportunity to meet in our down dog, hold and breathe. Arms stay nice and straight. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top. Long spine, that was a good hop there. Exhale, fold, it was springy. Sit deep, chair. Weight moves into your heels. Serious chair posers here. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Arms slide straight up towards the sky. Sit again into chair. Weight moves into your heels. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold, let your head go. Long spine sets you up, step or float through your vinyasa. So make it work for you. Up dog is smooth, press actively through your hands and the tops of the feet if you're taking. Hips up and back, down dog. The right foot lands on your breath, warrior one. Get grounded. And then bring it back down when you're ready through a vinyasa. You could take out the push-ups if they're too much. Down dog's a good place to pause. Left foot lands on your breath. Anchor the back foot. Warrior one. Nice work. Hands back down. Vinyasa, or meet me in a downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Arms stay nice and straight. It's important that you try to press firm through your hands. Look where you want to go. Step or float to the top of the mat. Get there light. Long spine, keep your weight forward. Exhale, fold into yourself. Sit deep into a strong chair pose. You're heavy in your heels, guys. Shoot up to stand up. Drag your hands to prayer. Drop your arms. Arms stretch straight up towards the sky from the top. Sit again into a strong chair. Weight moves into your heels. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Let your head go. Long spine sets you up, step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog pulls you through, hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands, back foot turns, warrior one. Rise on the exhale, hands back down through a vinyasa. Chaturanga push-up is solid for some of you. Yes, others of us don't need it. Up dog, down dog. Left foot lands, back foot turns, rise. Warrior one. We're moving and grooving here. Hands come down to frame your front foot. Plank through a push-up. Nice. Up dog is smooth. Hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Bring your feet together at the back of the mat. Yes. Look forward. Lean on your right hand. And let's slide into Vashisthasana side plank. So it's a version of side plank. You can go back to that knee down. You can stack the feet. Right hand is down. Hips are lifting nice and high. I'm showing it here with my left foot forward. Yeah. From your bottom hip through your top hip, you're stacking yourself up and you're pressing. Eyes meet the floor. Plank. Pause. Right to the other side. So you can pivot your right foot in front of your left. My left hand goes about an inch in front of the left shoulder blade, so you can line yourself up. Drop the bottom knee if you need a little support. From your bottom hip through your top hip, you lift straight up and then look up. Look down, plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands smack in between your hands, back foot turns, cartwheel open, warrior two. Warrior two, take your time. So always check your right foot, make sure it's forward, and your right knee tracks over your ankle. And then I always look down and make sure that my feet are on the same plane of energy. If you got a fancy mat, you can use that center line to line yourself up. And then you want to make sure you're not leaning. So you want to stack your body nice and evenly in the center like you're sitting in a squat pose. Arms are floating in space. We're going to hold here a few breaths. Wrap your inner right thigh open, anchor the back thigh, pause in the strong warrior two, maintain stability, and just let your breath take over as we hold. Stay with the legs in the shape, just wrap your left arm underneath your right arm, eagle the arms, but keep the body dynamically set up in warrior two. You're just adding a version of an arm bind, eagle arms. Lift the elbows up a little. Steer the left ribs back and the right ribs forward. Wrap the inner right thigh open, get a little heavier. Anchor, drive down, stay with it. It's just a feeling, it goes away. Keep the eagle arms, guys. Straighten out your front leg on track. So your legs are set up like triangle, but you've got eagle arms. Pause. Keep the legs nice and straight up and down. Maybe a little soft bend in that front knee. Just tip your body to the right, like 2 or 3 inches. Bend behind your right knee a little, and then open up your arms into triangle pose. So just kind of unravel, grab the right shin, and stack the left arm up. If grabbing the shin doesn't work for you this morning, a block to the outside of the calf is a great place to place your hand. That looks wonderful. Pull up on the front of the shin. Maybe you need to tighten up your stance. Some of us need to do that. Outer legs working, inner arches lifting, obliques engaging as you stack yourself up. Staying here, adding a little arm bind behind you. You can clasp your hands behind your back, interlacing the hands. Yeah, so it's binding the hands behind you, but as you do that, you have to turn your bottom right ribs and look over your left shoulder, softly bending that right knee so you don't jam into the joint. Hold here. So it's like a floating bound triangle pose. 3 more breaths. Right hand down, left arm spreads, regular triangle. Look to the floor, circle it down through vinyasa, or be happy with a down dog. Just hold and breathe for a moment. Step your left foot smack in between your hands, turn your back foot on a strong angle. Cartwheel open, warrior two. So same thing goes. That's the good thing about right side to left side. It's like, you know what's coming for you. I don't know if that's good or bad. Wrap your left knee open. Make sure the stance is wide enough, long enough, because you're here for a little. First with the arms open, settle into the more traditional way of taking the pose. Maybe even closing your eyes. Wrapping that inner left knee open. Getting heavier as you sit deeper. Steer your left ribs forward a little bit, your right ribs back. And just allow yourself to feel, where are you collecting the tension? Yeah, because it collects. It's just the way of the nature of our bodies. Stay with it. Eagle the arms, right arm this time underneath the left. If you think you screwed it up, just take the arm you didn't do yet. Rather than yanking down, lift the elbows up, keep wrapping that inner left thigh open. And then settle in and sit deeper. Breathe, close your eyes maybe, and just let yourself kind of go someplace else. I always say when you close your eyes, do you drift to the mountains or do you drift to the beach? Maybe some of you go to the desert, I don't know. Wherever you travel to, blink your eyes open. Yep, keep your arms bound. Straighten your left leg on track. You may need to adjust your stance and creep your right foot in a little. That's normal. Soft bend behind the left knee a little. And you're just going to tip a little to the left, like 2 inches to the left. It's like a floating. And then open up your arms, Trikonasana. Yeah, stack yourself up here. Maybe utilize the blocks if you need to. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Feel. Integrate your legs, your feet. Stay with it. Add in the bind if you feel you want a little more. Just grab opposite hands, opposite index finger, opposite thumb, opposite baby finger. And then there's a turn of your bottom ribs. You can look over your right shoulder and definitely soften the left knee a little. So you can begin to really integrate your legs, the outer hips, side ribs. Breath is flowing. This is pretty solid. Left hand down, right arm peels, triangle. Eyes to the floor. Move yourself to a feel-good vinyasa. Up dog should be smooth. Hips up and back, down dog. Right foot lands again, back foot turns, circle open, warrior 2. You've been here. It's your happy place. Yes, nice big step in warrior 2. Flip the palm this time, reverse the warrior. Float back through warrior 2, reach out and place your hand to the outside of your foot for an A variation of extended side angle. It's good to know the modification here, utilizing a block, definitely place a block there. I go even high some days because it just feels better in the hip. Arm could also rest on the top of your thigh for a modified version of this. Wrap the inner right thigh open and make a connection with the outside of your right leg and the inside of your right arm. And then slide your left arm straight up, or maybe it wraps up and forward depending on you and your body. There's a turning of your bottom ribs. So if you feel like you're trapped by the pose and the shape of the posture, back out of it, and maybe the left arm just stays straight up towards the sky. We're holding this pose though this morning. So maintain your composure, find your breath, and find a position that you can hold. Keep turning the inner part of your thigh to your baby toe. Stay with it. Soften the shoulders, reconnect with the breath when it gets a little bit more challenging. Left arm slides straight up if it wrapped forward, so just go straight up. Left hand to your hip, look down, use your block, and move forward into Arden, Chandrasana, half moon. So the block goes out in front of you about 6-10 inches, a little over to the right a little bit. You got it. And then lift from your inner left thigh, spark up your left toes, Arden, Chandrasana, half moon pose. It's one of my favorite postures. Soften behind the right knee if you feel like you're getting a little jammy in the joint. And then of course, if you feel that you want to take the bind, reach back, grab your ankle and kick behind you for the Shavasana today. This is of course optional. So if you feel like it moving ahead in the pose takes you out, just stay in its basic form. If you fall from the posture, restart again. Maybe working on little things like your breath, your focus, getting lighter in your bottom hand. Stay with it. Nice work. The intention is to challenge your balance. If you bound, release into a regular version of Arden. Look to the floor, square off your hips. Left hand comes down to the floor, the block, the hips are squared. Land your feet together at the top of the mat. I actually like to take this chair with the feet a little separated, so you're welcome to dabble with that. Sit heavy in your heels for chair. Chair pose. You look thrilled. Yeah. Drag your hands to prayer. Inhale your breath. Hook the elbow and twist towards the right. You're gonna go towards the right, guys. Chair with a twist. You gotta get out of your own head. Like, I need to be so deep. I need to go so far in these poses. You don't. You need to do what your body needs today. Weights in your heels. Check in with your alignment foremost. So that your left hip and knee stay lined up nicely next to your right hip and knee. Open up your arms if you want a little bit more. Or just be content with staying here, connecting to a solid breath, sitting a little heavier in your heels. Chair pose. You're waiting for me, I know. Chair. Heavy in your heels. Dive over, bent knees, forward fold. Set up for crow. Yes, plant the palms, come high on your tippy toes. So crow pose, your feet have to creep together. Knees high up on your arms, it's an arm balance. Weight shifts forward. You can do this whole pose with your big toes touching the floor and just stay here. Maybe one foot, maybe the other foot, then gently lift up when you balance. Squat malasana is of course an option. You can just go to the squat. So the trick with the crow is that you have to have your feet together across, and it's really going to help get that lift to the core, the round of the spine. Your gaze looks forward. Nice work. Step or float through your vinyasa. Up dog pulls you through. Hips up and back, downward facing. Step your left foot forward, turn your back foot strong on an angle. Come on up, warrior two. You were here before, so just keep it moving. Warrior two. Flip the palm, good idea. Flip the palm, reverse the warrior. I take whatever block. I have like 10 blocks when I practice. I need to bring the floor to me. Float back to warrior two, reach out, place your left hand to the outside of your foot for extended side angle A, or your arm resting on the top of the thigh. Yes, right arm stretches straight up. It's so much better with the block. Most of us are really tight in our upper traps. Just the way we sit, we drive. You know, for me, because I run, everything kind of moves forward. So the block really encourages the lift. It doesn't make the pose easier. It just helps you out a little. Wrap the inner thigh open, outside of left leg, inside of left arm. You're making a pretty solid connection. Right arm, of course, has the option of being straight up or wrapping up and forward. You pick. If you feel like your breathing becomes labored, then back out and do a little less. You can feel a little more in this pose. Good. Stay with it, staying a little bit longer, a little heavier in that standing left thigh. Anchor that back right leg a little more. If the arm wrap forward, stretch it straight up towards the sky. Everyone bring their right hand to the hip, look down and see if you can seamlessly float into Arden Chandrasana. Actually move my block from the median setting to the high setting for this. And I push the block a little over to the left off that big toe, that baby toe. Right hand can stay on hip as you begin to peel open, lifting that inner thigh, stacking yourself up, flexing and sparking up your right toes as you breathe your side body open here. So think left leg forward, left hip gripping under like Tadasana. Add in the bind if you did on the other side, Shavasana. You bend behind that knee, grab the ankle, and the kick goes behind you. Maybe getting lighter in that bottom hand. Stay with it. If you added a bind, slowly release to traditional version of Arden Chandrasana, half moon. Look down, right hand comes to the floor. Square yourself off first and then land your feet together or separate them a little if that feels better. Heavy in your heels, chair pose with excitement. Drag your hands to prayer, inhale the breath, hook the elbow, take it to the left. It's the same deal on this side, less is more. Yeah. Open up your arms if you want more. Steer your hips back. Just reminding you, when you twist, you're twisting through the little ribs. You're not twisting through your spine. So your spine is straight. The crown of the head is moving forward. And you're just twisting through those ribs. So it's a subtle movement. It's one of the best songs. Hands down. Heavy in your legs, guys. Keep breathing. Fold around chair. The real deal. Sit deep, chair pose. Keep sitting. You're going to sit all the way down, Navasana boat. So your hands can support you out in front of you. Palms can go flat. This is a great way to take it. Yeah, fingertips can be tented or arms can reach forward. Legs do not have to be straight. They can have a bend. The lift is through your upper shoulder blades. Yeah, so you're out of your low back. I like it that way. Arden Navasana, so it's a low hover and hold, but if your lower back is sensitive, pick a level for your legs. They could be straight up at a 90-degree angle. The goal here is there's a scooping out of your shoulders, a spreading of your lower back, so my shoulders are not actually touching the floor. Navasana, pull it up. Maybe you have to catch your hands behind your thighs. Arden Navasana, give it a go. Gaze towards the sky. I'm going to take a lot of pressure off your neck. Navasana, pull it up. You love it. Cross the ankles, step or float through your vinyasa, or it kind of looks a little bit more like a crawl back. Up dog pulls you through, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Have a block at the top of your mat. Here we go. Step your right foot forward. Step your right foot forward. Crescent lunge, come on up. Yeah, crescent lunge. Arms are going to stay straight up towards the sky, or you're welcome to bring your hands to prayer, your hands to your hips for stability. You're going to float your left leg up, hip height, flex the foot. Using your core muscles and your instinct and your proprioception, you're going to guide your left leg back. Crescent lunge. Just do your best. You wobble, you fall, it's all right. Float the left leg up, float the left leg to a 90-degree angle, flex the foot. Drift it back, crescent lunge. Float the left leg up, keep the left arm moving up, grab the outside of your left thigh with your right hand or the outside of your foot and peel it open into a twist. So you can do it with the leg forward. This is called dancing Shiva, or this can be done with your leg bent in half, left leg bent, right hand to the outside of the left thigh and peeling the left arm back. The goal is to look back, stand up nice and tall into that solid body of yours. Pull around to center, arms up, leg up, just bend it in half. Keep the leg lifted for me, drop your arms by your side body. Float back, warrior three. This is where a block could be really good. Bend your right leg enough so you can create some stability, don't open your hips. Warrior three, if you need to use blocks, place your hands on the floor or the blocks here. Keep your hips nice and squared off towards the ground. Grip your right hip in strong. Hands come to prayer. Gaze meets the floor. Left hand comes down, right arm peels. We're going into Arden Chandrasana with a twist. A block underneath that left hand is really, really helpful for most of us. Yes, so left hand on the block, left leg lifted, hip height. Right hand on the flat part of your back, or stacking the right arm. Yeah, so it gives you some information, like you're even, you're set. And then you twist open here, looking sideways, maybe looking up. This to me is one of the most challenging but effective poses. Lift from that inner left thigh, stack yourself up here and breathe open. If you want to add the bind for the last little bit, bend that left leg in half, reach with that right hand, kick up and back. Don't open your hips, keep everything neutralized to the ground for the last three. You got it. Nice work. Release that bind, look to the floor, right hand comes down, giant step back into a low lunge. Rise last time, crescent lunge here. Drag your hands to prayer, lean out, hook the elbow and twist. You get in the good works today. Drop your back knee if you need a little extra support. Make sure you're high on the ball of your back foot. So rather than the heel being down towards the ground, lift the heel up. It's going to be a lot easier. Grip the right hip in and twist open. Looking sideways, looking up for this revolve twist. Yes. You can always place your hand on a block on the inside and just take an easy twist. Yeah. So no dark thoughts, just stay with it. Two more. Eyes to the floor, both hands come down, step to a plank. Yes, lower your knees, your chest, your chin, sliver forward to a baby cobra, pause. In cobra, float the palms an inch up off the ground, so you're just hovering. So actually drag your hands far back like 2 inches, yes. So you feel the squeezing of those shoulder blades, perfect. Place the palms back down, curl the toes into the mat, lift the knees to a chaturanga push-up, plank position. Ugh, down dog. Left foot lands, crescent lunge. Here we go. Come on up. Stay with me. Good stuff happens when you work hard. Arms reach straight right up towards the sky. Hands can also come to a prayer if you need a little bit of help this first one. Guide your right leg up, flex the foot, stand. Step it back, crescent lunge. Just use your judgment. Guide the right leg up, flex, use your core muscles. Step it back, crescent lunge. One more, hug it in and up. Go right into the twist. So your left hand to the outside of that right leg or foot, and then peel open. Stand up nice and tall, dancing Shiva. Bending at your right knee and just grabbing the outside of that right thigh and taking this modified is A-okay. The goal is to stand up nice and tall, look sideways, maybe back into that right palm as you twist open. I know. Pull around to center, arms up, leg up. Everyone bend your right leg in half. Drop your arms by your side body, tip forward, warrior three. Bend your left knee as much as you can or need to. Steer your right thigh towards the ground, flex your right toes, super strong. A little bit of a lift through your upper chest. Drag the hands to prayer, eyes fixed to the floor. Right hand comes down. Most of you, if you have a block, I would use it. Left hand can come to the flat part of your back, set up for revolved Arden here. Lift from your inner right thigh and stack yourself up. Twisting open. Nice work. Grip the left hip in, lift from your inner right thigh. And then if you want to add the little bind here, reach back, bend your right leg and see if you can grab it with your left hand. I know for me, I normally have to come onto my fingertips of my bottom right hand to create a little bit more leverage. Release that back leg. Look to the floor, left hand comes down. Giant step back, crescent lunge. You got it, rise. Hands come to prayer at heart, inhale the breath, lean out in front of you, hook the elbow and twist. Drop your back knee if you need a little extra support this morning. You're high on the ball of your back foot. Easy twist is always available. So your right hand can come to the instep of that left foot, you got it. And you can stack open or back out of the pose. Nice work, stay with it, 3 more breaths. Lean back a little and rather than looking back, look sideways, look up. This song is really funny. Look to the floor, place both hands down, plank position. Plank position. Drop to your forearms, forearm plank. Yeah, walk the elbows in a little closer for forearm plank. Breathe your chest forward. Yeah, drop your knees if it's too much, it's okay. Forearm plank, solid forearm plank. Nice work. Take the round out of the spine, draw the belly in and up, contract your thighs, keep your arms the way they are, and then start to walk your feet up for dolphin pose, which is essentially down dog on your forearms. So if you have a forearm stand practice, this would be the place where you would go up. If you don't, you're just going to creep your feet in, make sure the head doesn't touch the ground. Maybe float your right leg up and just lift that right from that inner right thigh and keep that leg straight and in space. Come high on those left toes. That's it. And then lower the right foot down, ground it, and then lift from your inner left thigh. Lift it up as high as it's going to go before it takes you out of alignment. You want your hips squared, high on the ball of your right foot. Lower the left foot, dolphin, 5 more breaths. I know, it's good stuff. Broadening the shoulders, outer triceps gripping in, breathing your hips way up off those shoulders. Eventually, you're just gonna float up. Child's pose. When you hit the floor in child's pose, make it really like complacent. Reach your arms back and grab the base of your feet and let your forehead rest. Good, slide your arms forward, tabletop position. So we kind of started like this, guys. Float your right leg up and back, three-legged tabletop, whatever this is called. I made it up. Reach your left arm forward. Yeah. So you're floating in space, and then reach your left arm back, grab your right ankle with your left hand, and now kick up and back. This should feel really pretty good. Yeah, steer the whole chest forward, press firm through your right hand, grip the right tricep in, and breathe. Release the arm and the leg. Keep it floating in space, guys. Keep the right leg lifted. Left hand comes down. Left toes are curled. Lift your hips to a three-legged down dog. Bend your knee, open up your hip. If you could just stay here with your right thigh opening. If you want to take a little deeper back bend, you can step your right foot around and you can flip the dog today. Yeah, it's not for everyone. If your back is sensitive, I would just recommend staying with that right thigh lifted towards the sky. But you know you can kind of flip it around into a flip dog, go for it. If not, just stay here and breathe for 3. Nice work for 2. Wherever you are is where you are for today. Top arm, top leg pulls you around if you flipped. And then swing your right knee forward. You know where we're going, Farah. Half pigeon. There you go. Half pigeon right side. So if you got lost in translation, half pigeon right side. Half pigeon. Let yourself just kind of be. Now, Farah, here's one for you. Mm-hmm. Tabletop position, just crawl out of it. Tabletop position, curl the toes under, just pause. Float the left leg up, hip height, reach your right arm forward. Yeah, so just find this first in space. Right arm reaches back, bend at your left knee and grab your ankle. If you can grab your ankle, it's gonna actually give you more of a stretch. Steer the whole waist, ribs, everything forward. Focus on the little movements here. Fire up and kick into that hand. Release the arm and the leg in opposite directions. Keep the lift of the leg and just bring your right hand down. Right toes should be curled. So you just lift your hips up and back to a three-legged down dog. Bend at your left knee crease, open up your hip. Keep the thigh squared off if you know you're a little bit more sensitive. If you know you can go into a flip dog, then you can step it around. Yeah. If not, just be here because every little aspect of it is giving you something different. If you flip, top arm, top leg, pull you around. If you didn't flip, just square it off, look forward, land your left knee forward, half pigeon. And then fold here. A minute of just kind of being still in this pose and letting your body melt. So if you want to thread the needle, go the opposite direction. So no, just so you know, so yeah, so whatever leg it is, go the opposite, try, and then wrap that left arm around. To see if you feel that. There you go. Now you're in it. Not that the other way is wrong, but I think you'll get more. Yeah, you'll get more from it this way. And just make sure you're not like tweaking your neck in it. Right. Perfect. Of course, that's what I'm here for. Good, come up nice and slow. This time you're just gonna swing your right leg forward. I don't know, time flies when you're having fun. Take your block with you, because what I want us to do is create a back bend and legs up the wall. So I want you to lay down, okay? Lift your hips up, set up like first you're going to a bridge, and then slide your block, and if you can, go its highest setting. underneath your sacrum. So your sacrum isn't your lower back. It's kind of the spot before. Yep. And if the block's a little bit mushier, it's definitely going to be a little bit harder, but the higher the block goes, the more you're going to feel. And then what you could do is clasp your hands around the block and then lift your legs up slowly towards the sky. So you're creating like the legs up the wall type illusion. And then maybe close your eyes. And to create the back bend, actually, it's like a little bit of a squeezing of those upper shoulder blades together. Right, so as the practice starts to slow down, it's really important that you just stay present, you stay here. And you enjoy the moments that you can really just be still and purposeful. Bend your knees in half. Slowly bring the feet down to the ground. Once the feet get down, you have to kind of lift your hips up into a little bit more of a bridge to remove the block out, and then very slowly lower down. Once you lower down, take your feet to the width of the mat and let your knees just knock in. And drop your knees like that to the left and upper body to the right. Yeah, so they're gonna kind of be a little displaced like that. That's the point. It's kind of like a funky twist. And then come up to center and keep those legs wide, and then drop the knees the other direction to the right, upper body a little to the left. And then come up to center and squeeze your knees straight in. Hug them in nice and tight. And then slide yourself into Shavasana, complete rest. So complete rest right now, you did a lot. We kept that practice moving. Let your body, but more importantly, your mind and your breath just kind of drop to the floor. Next minute or so, just finding stillness. Big breath in. Complete breath out. Full body stretch. Bring your arms up over the top of your head. Hug your knees to your chest. And however you like to finish your practice, some of us do like to stay laying down. You can also sit up and join me in a seated position whenever you're ready. Once you come up, sit up nice and tall in this kind of newfound body of ours, and feel the effects of this practice on you today. Let the hands draw to a prayer, bow your head for a moment, always have gratitude, always have closure. Lift your head, open your eyes. Namaste. Mission accomplished. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was awesome. For those of you that zoomed in, I hope that it was clear and you could hear me.